Where did they take my child to? I couldn't shower. It was literally like my body had been in a car crash. How am I going to take care of a baby by myself? Crying that night and like apologizing to my child, like, I gotta check my child. This is my baby. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Angela, and if you're not familiar with my channel, this is Fashion Capital One. I might change the name, who knows. And here on my channel, I just share my life's journeys. I love to share my life with you guys, so I just share fitness things because I have been training myself for 6 years and I love exercise and I love nutrition. So I share nutrition bits as well because I am a certified nutritionist. Lifestyle vlogs, travel, all the things that I do, I love to share them with you guys, and you guys love to see them. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed and join the family. It's going to be amazing. But here on my channel today, I am going to be talking about something that's not really talked about on YouTube, and I am going to be going TMI into it. What I'm going to be talking about today is my post-birth story. So my whole postpartum journey, like, you know, the way everyone has a birth story out there, everyone's got a birth vlog out there, but I don't see a lot of post-birth stories, okay? And girl, trust me, things get real post-birth, okay? People need to talk more about this. I just feel like this is something that's not really broached a lot on YouTube yet, and I feel like more people need to be honest about what the post-birth life actually is like, because it was a shock to my system. All the things that were happening to me, it was an actual shock to my system. And to be honest, I was actually sicker post-birth than I was during my entire pregnancy. Like, I've been the sickest so far. Like, it's just... Anyways, I'm gonna get into it now, and I'm gonna walk you through everything from the birth. If you have been watching me for a while, you guys know that I just gave birth 7 weeks ago. So I'm 7 weeks postpartum, and I'm loving my postpartum journey so far, but it has been hard. There has been bumps on the way, and it's just been really difficult. I'm here to open that box. I'm here to unleash the demons and just let everyone know what the truth is. I'm here to just bust all of that crap, okay, and just give it to you guys straight, because I wish somebody had told me all the things that would happen to me post-birth. So some people have been talking about this fourth trimester thing, and I didn't really understand what the fourth trimester was. So fourth trimester is basically everything that happens post the birth. That's your fourth trimester. There's a lot that goes on that you really need to be prepared for. So in this video today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of the things that have happened to me post-birth. I've had a really difficult time the last 7 weeks, and I am still recovering from birth. I really do think that birth trauma is a real thing, and I feel like I'm really struggling with that right now. Yes. So I gave birth on Saturday the 29th of July. So during my labor, it was really tough, but you guys have probably seen my birth story. And if you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and check out my birth story. I'll put the little link here and put it in the suggested cards up here. So go ahead and check that out so you guys can have the download everything that happened during the birth. So then you can watch this video and then you can know what happened after the birth. So like I said, I gave birth on Saturday the 29th of July, and I gave birth at 9:21, so 21:21. During the delivery, actually, my blood pressure went up a lot. Like, it went up like through the roof. It was like 100 and whatever, like, out there. Okay, but they didn't really like let me know that that was happening. But I knew something was up because they just kept coming to take my blood, and they wanted to check my urine. So, you know, from the catheter bag or whatever, they wanted to keep testing my urine, and I was just kind of like, what's going on? And there was like lots of people around me, but I didn't really know at the time. So then after the birth and all, usually they would bring you back to the ward if you had an uncomplicated delivery, but instead they brought me to an observation room. So I had my own like suite. It was really, really nice actually to have my own suite, but I had my own suite, and it was basically so I could be there for 24 hours for observation. So they were observing me every hour. They would come and they would check my blood pressure, they would do my vitals and everything like that. And because I had my own room, then they brought in a little roll-out bed for James, and he actually stayed the night with me there, so it was really, really amazing. My mum ended up actually sleeping on the couch as well, so I had 3 people in hospital with me there, which is actually really, really uncommon, but you know, it was amazing to have them there because obviously at the time the epidural was still like wearing off, so I hadn't stood up yet or anything, like I couldn't really walk or anything like that, and I still had the catheter in. So when you get an epidural, you can't use your legs, so you can't go to the bathroom, so you still need to like evacuate your urine. So they put in a catheter into your urine area, you know, and then it gets collected into this little bag. And so then because I had a catheter, they had to constantly monitor my fluid intake and my fluid outtake. So everything I drank, I had to let them know, and everything that came out, they measured it. So because my catheter was still in and everything, I couldn't really get out of the bed, and they were still measuring that, and then they were taking my vitals and everything. So I went to bed at like 1 o'clock or whatever, and I couldn't really do anything at that stage because like I said, the epidural was just wearing off. My back was numb. Like I was kind of not really in pain at the time because the epidural was numbing me. So, but I couldn't really like sit up for myself. So I couldn't really hold my baby. I couldn't really like do a lot. Like I could hold him while lying down and stuff, but James had to do everything. He had to do the first diaper change, and he had to do most of the feeds and everything because I was really, really weak. And my mum as well. My mum helped, and she did a lot of stuff as well. So the first 24 hours were really, really tough for me. I was getting better, I thought. I'm so naive. So I thought I was getting better. And then like around the Sunday morning, I kind of had like a headache. It was quite bad, and like I couldn't really open my eyes when I was having this headache. And they came in and they gave me paracetamol and stuff like that, and it was fine. Then the epidural was wearing off around Sunday evening, and then they finally took my catheter out because I was drinking loads of fluids, and I was getting rid of loads of fluids, so they were happy enough with that. So then they took my catheter out, and it was really, really good. I was like, okay, now I can try to get up, I can try to walk. So the first time I got up out of the bed, oh my gosh, it was hard. Like I was like, whew. It was literally like my body had been in a car crash, and I just couldn't. It was so weird. Like I got up out of the bed, and I think I took like 3 steps, and I almost blacked out. Like it was tough. So then I sat back down, and I waited another while for the epidural like to really, really wear off. When it was around Sunday afternoon, then I was like, okay, I can actually like take a couple more steps. This is fine. So then I took a couple more steps, and then by that stage they'd taken the catheter out so I could go to the bathroom. So when I walked to the bathroom, I still had to like measure all of everything that was coming out fluid wise or whatever. After you have a baby, like your uterus is getting rid of all of that blood, so there is a lot of blood. Like you bleed for a long time. Okay, this is something that nobody really told me, that I was going to bleed for like 3.5 weeks. That's real, guys. That's real. Like, okay, you could bleed for up to 6 weeks, which is crazy. But if you think about it, 9 months without periods, you're kind of getting like your 9 months worth of periods in whatever, 3 to 6 weeks. Like, it's a lot. So Sunday evening, they were like, okay, you've been here for 24 hours. We've monitored you. Your blood pressure looks fine, up a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to send you now to the ward. So then James had to go home, and my mom had to go home because it wasn't visiting hours and everything. So they had to leave, and then I got moved to the ward, and then they could come back then when it was visiting hours only. And that, I found that really, really tough. Because for the first day, like when it was visiting hours, they were there and everything like that, and it was fine. But then it was the evening, and I had to do the evening all by myself, and I still wasn't like recovered. I'm still not recovered, but like it was bad. So like I couldn't really sit up or anything like for long. I couldn't sit up for more than a minute without being in pain, like, and I was on heavy painkillers and everything. So my back was really, really weak and sore, and like down there was really, really sore. I just had a baby. Like even my head was not right. Like it was just not. So that evening was horrible. Like I just remember like being like so scared. Like, how am I going to do this by myself? How am I going to take care of a baby by myself when my body is in bits? Like, I felt like I had been in a car crash, and then they wanted me to take care of this 1-day-old infant. Like, I just remember like crying that night and like apologizing to my child, like, I'm so sorry, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm sorry, I can't even lift you. I had to call the nurse so many times to help me like move over in the bed, to pass me my child so I could try and feed it. Like, it was just horrible. Like, it was just a horrible situation. I don't know how they expect you to do that like after the trauma of what you've been through. Like, it's just a lot. And even in my case, I had been in hospital for 4 days prior to that. So it had been a long time. Like, and I'd been through a lot with all of the examinations, with the whole it's just everything. I had been through a lot, and it was just too much for me. But then that Sunday night, I was like, okay, look, I have to do what I have to do. I have to try my best. I tried to feed the baby, and then I tried to change the baby. It was it went okay. It went better than I thought it was going to go, trust me. And then I got the nurse, and she was like, do you need help? And I was like, yes, I need help. Help me. So she was like, I could take him to the nursery, for a few hours, let you get some sleep. And I was like, please, Jesus, take the child. Obviously, I didn't want her to take the child. So when she asked me, it was like 1 a.m. when she asked me, and I was like, okay, you can take the child. But I was half asleep. So then I woke up at like 3 and I was like, where's my baby? And I was like, oh my gosh, where did my baby go? I was so confused. I was like, where did they take my child to? I don't know where this nursery is. I don't know who that nurse is. Like, I was so confused. I was like, I don't really understand what's going on. But then I was like, okay, calm down. You're in the hospital. Okay, it's just the nurse. She'll bring your baby back. Then I was like, I don't remember when she said she was going to bring my baby back. Did she just steal was she just a random person and she just stole my baby? But obviously it was the nurse, and I did get my baby back. It's fine. It was just a lot, because like, you know, like it was just a lot. Like my mind wasn't ready. Like it was just too much for me. So then on Monday I was discharged from the hospital. Like I just couldn't wait to get out. Like I wasn't well, but I just couldn't wait to get out, because I knew that I would recover better at home, because the hospital food and the atmosphere. I had this lady that was next to me that was so rude. She was so rude. Like she was talking on her phone, like screaming on her phone at quiet time in the hospital, and then at nighttime she snored like, I don't even know, like a flippin' horse. Like it was so loud, and she was right in the bed beside me, and at 3 a.m. she was like snoring the whole ward down. Like there were 6 people in that ward, and you could hear her all the way down the corridor. It was really bad. So I was so happy to just be out of that situation, just be able to get home. So on Monday afternoon we got discharged and we took him home, and oh my gosh, it was so much better just to be in my house, in a relaxed atmosphere, in a familiar atmosphere. My mum was here, she made me a meal, like just to be able to like take a nap, know that my baby is safe. Like my husband has him, my mom has him, everything is okay. Like it was just so much better than being in a hospital. Trust me, you can't really get well in hospital. You have to be in your own space like to get well. So on Monday was okay. I was home here, and that was his day 3. I think it was his day 3. No, it was technically his day 2. They don't count the like Saturday, so it was technically his day 2. And so the hospital midwives, they come around for the first 5 days of the baby's life. So on day 3 they came back around. It was Tuesday, and I remember on Tuesday I was like feeling good. I was like, yeah, I'm in my zone. I'm gonna go for a little walk. Big mistake. I literally walked across the road from my house to a shop, and honestly it was so surreal. It was like being in a movie. I couldn't even like it was just really overwhelming. There was just a lot of light, there was a lot of sensations, there was a lot of smells, and I just felt like it was too much. Like I almost blacked out. Like it was a good thing my mom came after me. She saw me leaving through the window and she was like, I'm going after her. So she came after me, and honestly if my mom wasn't there, I probably would have had like a panic attack and just died. I don't, that's probably an over exaggeration, but like it was just too much. Like, and my mom had to like hold me for a while, like to just breathe. And then I came back in the house and I was like, I'm not leaving the house ever again. So it was a bit too much. I think I pushed myself too far that day, but then it was fine. I slept that night or whatever, you know, played with my baby, tried to get used to him or whatever. And then on Wednesday I remember waking up at 5 a.m. with like a terrible headache. Like when I had this headache, like it was like I could feel every vein in my brain like pulsing, and I couldn't open my eyes. It was so flippin' bad. Like it was a really bad headache. But my mom was like, because my mom was like a nurse, so she knew like what this was. I'm so happy she was here, because I don't know what I would have done if she wasn't here. So she was like, I know what to do. Then it was about 7 a.m. The headache still wasn't gone, because I took paracetamol. I was thinking it would go away. I drank some cold water. I put a cold compress on my head. Nothing worked. Nothing was helping. It was just really bad. So it was about 8 a.m. She was like, I know what to do. We'll call the GP and we'll get you sorted. So she called the GP. I went to the GP. The GP gave me some emergency medicine for the headache and everything, because my blood pressure had gone back up. It was like through the roof. So the GP was like, oh, we'll get you admitted to the emergency department. I was like, no, I'm not going to that hospital. I'm going back to the Coombe where I had my baby. So my mom drove me all the way back to the Coombe, and they were like, your blood pressure is through the roof. We're admitting you. So they admitted me in that night. So I had to spend a night away from my baby. It was horrendous. Like it was so bad, and I had the headache for the entire day. Like it was really bad. Like I just couldn't. So basically they had to test my urine and everything like that, because they thought that I had postpartum preeclampsia is what they call it, which is something that people get preeclampsia when they're pregnant. It's like a really high blood pressure, and it can become toxic for the baby and all that kind of stuff. But little known fact to me is that there was such a thing as postpartum preeclampsia. So they thought that I had that, but like all of my other tests were fine, and there was no protein in my urine, because that's how they check it. And so it wasn't that, it was just a hormonal blood pressure thing that was happening. So it was due to like all of the hormones I'd been given, probably the prostaglandin or the oxytocin or anything, because I'd been pumped with so many hormones. Who knows what was causing it, but literally I'd never had any high blood pressure in my life, never had anything wrong with my blood pressure. My blood pressure was always normal. I exercise, I eat well, so there was nothing, no health or lifestyle factors involved in this. It was a purely hormonal thing. And so my blood pressure was super high, so they kept me in that night. They observed me, they gave me fluids, and they started me on blood pressure medication, and I had to be on that for 2 weeks actually, and until my blood pressure and my hormones kind of normalized a little bit. It was really hard on day 4 basically to be away from your baby. So I was away from him like entire day 4 and into day 5, which was really hard. That's not even like all that's happened to me since I've had a baby. It's just like, this is the tip of the iceberg. Oh yeah, and then there was the whole milk situation as well. So obviously I wasn't breastfeeding, so my milk came in, and when it came in, it came in. It was like 3 days after, and my girls were like rock hard. They were like, let's go, let's feed this baby. And I was like, no feed no baby. So literally, like, I had to wear a sports bra because the nurses were like, there's nothing you can do, like, we're not going to give you medicine or anything like that yet, you just have to let them dry up. And one of the nurses was like to me, the best way to do it is just wear a sports bra and pretend you don't have boobs. Don't look at them, don't touch them, don't let anyone touch them, don't even think about them. They will dry up, it will happen, it'll be fine. And I was like, what? It hurts so much, give me some drugs. But it really hurt. It was tingly, it was itchy, it just was hard, it was everything, and it took so long for them to dry up. Basically, I lived in my sports bra the first few weeks after giving birth. Like, I literally had, I'm still wearing my sports bra right now actually, to be honest with you, but I literally had to shower in my sports bra. I couldn't shower facing the shower, like I couldn't let the hot water touch me because it would stimulate the girls and it would produce more milk, and that's the opposite of what I wanted. So I literally had to like face away from the shower and like wear my sports bra, because if you let them down, the milk will fill up more. So they had to be like up and secure the whole time, and they had to be like, don't touch. They were like a no-go zone. So even hugging people was hard. Even holding my baby to my chest was so difficult, because every time he cried, my body wanted to feed him. So it was really hard. Like, my body was like, oh, why is he crying? Make more milk. No. Okay. So that lasted for pretty much the guts of 2.5 weeks. Like, it was hard. It was the guts of 2 weeks, and then took about half a week just to kind of normalize again. And they're definitely fine now. They're back to normal now. Yeah. Another thing as well is that just the weakness in your core is just, I don't even know. It's just ridiculous. Like, and because your core is weak, your back is weak. So then you get off balance, and then you're picking up your baby all the time, and you're leaning down to do things, and it's just too much. It's really just too much. And I had diastasis recti, which is the further separation of the abdominal muscles, because I had a strong core before. I had a bit more separation than you normally would have. So I had that to deal with as well. Like, I couldn't get up from the bed like that. No, you could get a hernia or anything. Like, it was really hard, and like all of that stuff was going on at the same time as I'm trying to now be a parent to a newborn. And of course, with my sickle cell, I found everything a lot more difficult. It was just a lot more difficult because my blood levels were low after pregnancy and after all of the bleeding that I was doing. So basically, anemic and bleeding, it doesn't go together. I found things very difficult. Like, and then I'm trying to focus my brain as well. This is another thing that happened to me, and I don't know if this happens to everybody, but it definitely happened to me. My brain was like off. It was just like foggy. It was fuzzy. Like, I couldn't take in information. I couldn't remember anything. Like, I couldn't drive because I couldn't focus my brain on anything. Like if I was looking at like one thing, like a second later, like my brain would be somewhere else. It was just like it was not happening. So it was really hard for me, and it's still going on now, but to a very lesser degree. Like, it was 100% before, now it's on like maybe 25%. So it took me about 4 weeks to start driving again. Like, I couldn't even drive. Physically, I was fine to drive, but mentally, I just couldn't. I couldn't focus on anything. So there's that. Oh my goodness. So there's so many things that actually happen to you after you give birth to a baby that people don't talk about. Another thing that happened to me is, people talk about the baby blues happen about day 3 or day 4. That wasn't a thing for me. Day 3 or day 4, I was fine. I actually took a photo of myself day 3 with my like post-baby belly bump thing. It was really, really weird. It was weird to see my body like that after giving birth 3 days later. It was still kind of like looking like I was 6 months pregnant. But I was fine with that at the time. Everything was good. I was feeling accomplished. I was like, I just pushed a human out. My human is healthy. I'm gonna be better. It's gonna be fine. Everything is cool. But then it was about 2.5 weeks. It really, really hit me. And it wasn't baby blues. It was postpartum depression that really, really hit me. Like I went from 0 to 100 so quick, and then I'd go back from 100 to 0. Like, so it's just like my mood has been everywhere, and 100% I'm still struggling with it right now. But I know that there's hope for me, and I know that there's a future for me, and I know that I have to be strong and look after my baby, and I am getting the help that I need. So all of those things, and I do have support in my life. I have people that I love and I trust. All of those things are really, really helping me to power through it and just like focus on the good in my life. So in the very, very bad times, like I have all of this to remember, and I have a God who loves me and made me and gave me the gift of creating to be able to create. I have all of that stuff to focus on, and that really, really helps me through. So I'm definitely still struggling with it, and I cannot wait until my hormones level out and I feel like a human again, like I feel normal again. I don't know when that will be. I don't know if it'll be in 6 months or in 8 months or in a year. I have no idea when it's going to be, because to be honest, the postpartum recovery takes a long time. Physically, I might look like, oh yes, she's fine, she had the snapback, she had the snatchback of life, goals. No, it's not like that, because on the inside, everybody struggles, and it's not just me, everybody struggles. And I'm pretty sure that every single woman who's ever given birth to a baby has struggled one way or another. And I just want to put this out on the internet there so people can see. So even if one person sees this video and is like, this happened to me, thank you so much for actually putting this online on the internet so more people know about it. That's it, I'm done. Like, that's my video, that's my entire video's goal. Like, the less people talk about it, like the more taboo it is. So the more people talk about it, the more light can be shone on the topics that I've covered now today. So I just want to thank you guys for watching this video through to the end. I know it was a really, really long one. I'm sorry it's so long, but I hope that you at least got something from it. You enjoyed it. If you are pregnant, you know what's coming now. If you're not pregnant, know what's coming now. If you've been through it, empathize with me, sympathize with me, understand. Yes girl, preach to the choir. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my other videos. I have the birth vlog up, so you can go ahead and look at that. I've got the birth story, and you can check out my pregnancy updates during my pregnancy time. And you can also go on my socials and check out my snaps of baby Hezekiah. He's so cute. So 7 weeks and 3 days postpartum is much better than 1 week postpartum, to be honest with you, but I'm looking forward to the future, and that's all I can say for now. Bye guys!